When it comes to Boracay, you may have heard it all. The paradise on earth with beautiful women catching the tan or posing for incredible Instagram photos. How about the luxurious beachfront resorts located at the most beautiful beaches in the world with incredibly powdery white sand and lush green palm trees? Well, the warm turquoise crystal clear ocean is begging you for a refreshing swim. It is the best vacation island in the Philippines and probably one of the best in the world. And of course, let's not forget the most magnificent sunset that you have ever seen, with the rainbow colors so beautiful that it leaves you speechless. But should you believe all that you heard or read? How much is too much to be true? To help you answer all these questions and many more, follow us on our next adventure that brought us back to the Philippines after a short visit to New York City. This is the first of series of videos that we will post about our Boracay trip. We will cover Boracay from many different angles and present you with a thorough insight into what Boracay looks like now, to give you yet another reason to consider Boracay for your next vacation destination. In this particular video, we will talk about our experience and challenges of getting to Boracay. We will look at what is all the fuss about the famous white sand beach, but we will also touch on things like where to stay in Boracay, transportation choices, and of course, the current requirements that you need to be aware of before entering Boracay. So let's get started on our incredible Boracay adventure. If you are looking at this video, you have either heard about Boracay and are curious about what is Boracay all about, or chances are that like us, before making this trip, you are searching for more information. If you do a little search about Boracay, one of the first things that you will read is that Boracay has one of the most beautiful powdery white sand beaches in the world. You will be lured by pictures of tropical paradise, turquoise blue crystal clear ocean with white sand so white and fine that it almost does not seem to be real. The fact of the matter though is that all that has been said so far is true. While this island is only 7 km long and its narrowest part only 1 km wide, it packs one of the most beautiful sights that we have seen during our travel. This bone-shaped island is located in the central part of the Philippines in the Visayas Island group and is only about 1 hour flight from Manila. Whatever you heard about Boracay before its closure in 2018 is definitely the past, and the new Boracay is better than ever in every imaginable aspect. The closure that everybody hated actually helped to turn this island 360 degrees around. Not only are the beaches super clean, but the entire island is now on the way to becoming the most eco-friendly island in the Philippines. From e-tricycles that are the primary means of transportation around the island, to using one-time biodegradable utensils made of wood, paper straws and paper cups, a ban on smoking in public areas, and no alcohol allowed outside the special establishment, Boracay has become the model for sustainable ecotourism for the entire Philippines and beyond. There are many options to enjoy your stay. You can go for a boat trip to watch the sunset, try paddleboarding around, or if you are more adventurous, you can try jet ski and parasailing. There is also a new obsession with crystal boats and taking pictures while on the see-through kayak. If you want that Instagram picture, this might be something to try. In our opinion, the best place for you to do it would be the Willis Rock, where you can get a nice background to your picture. We did not see this on any other island except here, so it might be a new Boracay tourist attraction. The island is divided into so-called 3 stations. Station 1 is where you want to be if you are looking for all that Boracay is famous for. Here is where you will find the famous white sand beach with the finest sand on the entire island. This is also where the most luxurious resorts are located and where you will find the biggest crowds at the beach, especially before the sunset. Right next to it, only about 5-minute walk, you will find Station 2, which is the shopping center of the island. Here is where you can find the famous D-Mall with many great restaurants and small shops. Station 3 is the furthest location, and you can see it here all the way in the back where the windmills are. It is quieter, but also far from everything, and the sand is much coarser compared to Station 1. It also has a lot more wind and therefore is the place for parasailing. But now we need to talk about the requirements for entering Boracay and the best way to get there. The requirements for entering the Philippines that we will discuss are current as of making of this video, so make sure that you double check if it's still current before you go. For those of you who will be watching this video much later, we hope you will appreciate all the hurdles that it took to get to the Philippines in the post-COVID-19 pandemic era. The first thing that you will be asked for at the airport is the standard proof of COVID vaccination. So have your COVID pass ready. What was new for us is that many countries, including the Philippines, are now requiring you to also have a proof of health insurance coverage in case you get sick with COVID-19 while abroad. But here is what you need to pay attention to. If you are traveling to the Philippines, you will be also asked for something called a One Health Pass. We posted the link for more information in the description below. But basically, what it is a QR code. You will receive this QR code from the government of the Philippines after you upload information about your COVID vaccination and negative test result. Keep in mind that you will be allowed to upload the information only 24 hours before your departure. The requirements that we just mentioned will allow you to get to the Philippines. But to get to Boracay, you will also have to obtain another special QR code, which is a specific requirement just for Boracay. You will not be allowed to enter Boracay without this QR code. Check the link below for more information and how to obtain it. We flew from Germany, where we currently live, for another 1.5 years, so there were no direct flights to Manila or Cebu. Our options were to fly either through Malaysia or Thailand. If you have a choice, we strongly suggest you fly through Malaysia and avoid the flight through Thailand at any cost, particularly if you are like us and have with you lots of electronics, more specifically power banks. For some, to us unknown reasons, TSA in Thailand is obsessed with power banks, and unless you have the smallest basic phone charging power bank, the chances are that they will take it from you, telling you that it is not allowed on the plane. If you do have to fly with Thai Airlines though, pay attention here, because this piece of advice can save you lots of anguish during your trip. When you are checking in, if possible, request your seat as far away from the toilets as possible. But most importantly, under no circumstances order any of their Thai curry in-flight meals. Not only it is so spicy that my better half, who loves spicy food, could barely take it, a couple of hours later, you will start noticing all the people who are constipated making their rounds to the bathroom. The smell from the bathroom was so bad that we almost threw up, despite having the masks on. Imagine dealing with this for 6 hours. Depending on where you fly from, you may land in Manila too late to take a flight the same day to Boracay. So while we know that you can't wait to get your feet wet in the warm Boracay ocean, you may have to spend a night in Manila. While there is a bunch of close-by hotels near the airport, for a quick overnight stay, we recommend a budget room in Red Planet, which is only a few minutes from the airport. The hotel is clean, and for the price we paid, completely met our needs. We ordered a bunch of food for our dinner and had a little fiesta before we went to bed to get ready for the beginning of our adventure next day. So this is our first Filipino food. These are the famous limpias. My baby, crazy, ordering so much food. But first we gotta eat the ice cream because it's hot. How is it? Good. It's good.
It's so hard to eat ice cream in Germany because it's always cold.
It is true.
Here, every day you can enjoy eating ice cream.
That is true. I agree.
This is chop suey.
Chop suey? What is that?
It's a combination of different vegetable. Eat, my darling.
Thank you.
This one is take a bite first without eating the sauce. Now, so it's still hot. It's in small.
That is so delicious. Lumpia
So
daw.
this is Filipino lumpia. So dip it in sauce
But you didn't bite first.
because I already know the taste of this. Upright chicken.
It's absolutely delicious. Okay, really. The next morning, we grabbed a taxi, and in a few minutes, we were at the airport. We flew with Air Asia, which we believe is a better choice compared to Cebu Pacific for many reasons. Cebu Pacific is super strict on weighing your carry-on luggage, which can be more than 7 kgs. But they also allow you to check in only 10 kilogram luggage, which we were very upset about because the standard is 20 kilograms. Given the fact that we were taking 7 different flights during this trip and only one of them was Cebu Pacific, our checked-in luggage was 20 kgs. So one of the flights that we had no other options for but to fly with Cebu Pacific, we had to buy an extra 10 kgs of checked-in luggage. Luckily, it was only a local flight and the fee was just a few dollars. So here we are, finally heading for our first destination, Boracay Island. There are 2 airports in Boracay, but if you are going to the main island where all the fun is, you want to land at the Caticlan airport. It is the closest to the main island. The other airport is about 1.5 hours away and so not really practical. Here is the kicker though. Caticlan is not where all the fun that you are looking for is to be found. You actually have to get via boat to the main island. You have a choice of doing it yourself and taking the ferry, but please do yourself a favor and don't try to be cheap here. This is not the place where you want to save money. You will need to get from the airport to the port, then book the ferry ticket, wait for the next ferry to go, and then hire a tricycle to get you from the port on Boracay main island to your hotel. After a long trip with heavy bags in 30-degree heat, really not worth it. Instead, do what we did. When you are booking your hotel or resort in Boracay, look for their fee for round-trip transport to the island. We did not find any hotel or resort that would have it included in their room price. So yes, it is an extra charge. Depending on the distance from the port, the round trip ranges from 1200 to 1800 pesos for a person for a round trip, but it is worth every penny. We booked our stay at the Henan Crystal Sands. Their representative was waiting for us at the airport and picked us up with the rest of the arriving guests. They took care of our luggage and loaded it into the air-conditioned van, then to the boat, from the boat to the air-conditioned car again, and then they took us to the resort. Everything went very smoothly. Just make sure that you count your bags, because on our way back, they almost forgot one bag with all my electronics in it. That would be a disaster. If you decide to stay in more than one resort, like us, you can book your round trip from the airport with the same resort. For us, the Henan was cheaper. We just let them know that we will be back on a particular date to use our return trip to the airport. It does not matter that you checked out a week earlier. Just make sure you tell them during your check-in so they can make the reservation for you. Based on your flight details, they will tell you when the shuttle will take you to the airport. We will do our full review of the Henan Crystal Sand Resort in our next video, but for now, we will just say that Henan is our preferred resort to stay, and it is for many reasons. They have several resorts in Boracay, one in Bohol, and they are building another one in Palawan. We will go over the difference between Bohol and Boracay Henan Resort in our next video, but you can check the link to our review of the Henan Resort in Bohol in description below. Before you can board the boat to Boracay's main island, you will have to fill up the arrival information and show your Boracay specific QR code. Once you finish all your paperwork, you can just sit down, relax, and wait for the boat to arrive. Each resort has its own speedboat, and the trip to Boracay Island takes only a few minutes. check-in process at Henan Crystal Sands was very smooth, and even though we had to wait for half an hour for our room, after 25 hours of travel, this was a little price to pay for all the adventure that was waiting for us. In our next video, we will take you along the white sand beach and talk about the different parts of the beach and what to expect there. If you like our video, please like and subscribe, and we will see you in our next video.